Today I will be talking about my interest in the Portal game series. Portal is a comedic puzzle video game that works with platforms, lasers, portals, and much more. You play as a girl named Chell, who is trapped in a testing facility known as Aperture, or Aperture Laboratories. You go through a series of puzzles. Each puzzle is in a chamber. In each chamber there is a robot called GLaDOS, who is speaking to you through speakers. GLaDOS is the main antagonist, and she controls the laboratories. Her name stands for Genetic Lifeform and Disk Operating System. What's most interesting about Portal to me is the weighted companion cube. The weighted companion cube is a white and grey cube with a pink heart on each side. But what makes it weighted? There's a theory that the companion cube is weighted by the bodies of other, possibly dead, test subjects. This could be possible because, first of all, there's an incineration grid for non-organic materials. Before we get to the elevator that lifts us to the next chamber, and GLaDOS makes us burn the weighted companion cube instead of it being incinerated by the grid, because if there was a body in it, the cube shell would be incinerated and leave the body behind. But this isn't the only piece of evidence, because GLaDOS uses the words worthless and useless to describe human life, and uses the same language to describe the cube. But is it just coincidence? I'm not completely sure, but is it a coincidence that GLaDOS suggests that the weighted companion cube can talk? Well, the rat man, who was a worker at Aperture, was the only to survive for that long. And the only reason he survived that long was because he walked around with a weighted companion cube on his back and listened to its advice. But when he didn't have the cube, he almost died. And GLaDOS doesn't want us to listen to the companion cube if it talks. So what do we do? Because GLaDOS may or may not be telling us the truth, and the Ratman may have been going crazy. That isn't the only thing I'm interested in about Portal. I'm also interested about the origins of GLaDOS. GLaDOS is an artificial intelligence in charge of the central system of the Enrichment Center. When GLaDOS was first made, there was a precaution that they made that was called the red phone failsafe, where an employee would sit near a red phone at the entrance to GLaDOS's housing chamber and would be required to inform the scientists if it was ever to become sentient or dangerous. And that turned out to be correct, as several attempts to activate GLaDOS, and GLaDOS tried to murder the employees. Cores were made to alter GLaDOS's behavior. Some failed, and GLaDOS managed to convince the scientists that she didn't want to harm anyone, and the scientists allowed her to do an experiment with a box, a cat, and a little bit of neurotoxin. Within seconds, she made the facility go into lockdown, trapping everyone inside, and she killed all of them with the neurotoxin. But the test subjects were kept alive. Chell was originally not going to be tested because she was too determined and stubborn. But the Ratman changed Chell's files because he knew she would survive and possibly enable GLaDOS.